All right, JJ.
Hey Jeff, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you, JJ?
Not bad. Just can you recap or just give us an idea of your emotions over the last week or so?
First of all, sorry about your Braves last night, JJ. I know that kind of ruined your mood, and only Greg would already be talking about me getting fired on the very first day of my contract. I mean, what are we doing, man? I thought we were closer than that. God. All right, let's get to work. I'm excited, obviously, JJ. This is a huge relief for me. I thought it had become a distraction. I was worried about my players having to answer it so much. Dr. Compost and President Amy have been so proactive in getting this thing going for a long time. You don't do a deal this big in a week, right? This has been going on for months. And we had already targeted, the open week would be a great time to do it. We didn't know we were going to be 8-0. We didn't know there was going to be so many distractions at the exact same time. We can't predict the future. But I thought it was very important we get this thing done for my players' sake. And I couldn't be more grateful to President Amy and Dr. Compost for just giving me my chance, to give me an opportunity. And there was a sense of loyalty that I felt to those two people, to this university, this community, this city. Let's be honest, y'all have treated Carrie and I and our kids so great since we've been here. It's a huge city, but it has such a small town feel. And I'm a small town boy married to a city girl. So it's just a perfect fit for Care Bear and I.
Okay, Chris.
Yeah, Jeff, how much did the news about, UTSA moving to the American and moving up, impact your decision to want to stay here?
So many things lined up. I mean, this has been our vision since the day they hired me. I'm on record as talking about TCU and the University of Miami and Central Florida. And we really see that place as this. We know we're not there. We know we're not there. We don't want to be that arrogant, but we're moving in the right direction. We're definitely trending up, and we've got a long ways to go. But moves like this make sure boosters, alumni, recruits, our fans know how committed I am, our staff is, but also how committed UTSA is, and President Amy and Dr. Compost and our boosters and our board of regents.
In when you applied for the job, interviewed for the job, what did you see, could be done here?
I always wanted this one. I'd stayed in high school to raise my kids. I had opportunities to get out, and people told me I was crazy back then, for not getting in, and I was going to be too old by the time my kids got out. And then, Coach Strong was kind enough to hire me, and this is the job I wanted. I just thought it was a good fit for me. I love San Antonio. I've been down here many, many times. My daughter played club volleyball down here too many times. And so I loved coming down here. And y'all didn't hire me the first time. And I wasn't ready, honestly. I thought I was ready. You know me. I always think I'm ready, but I wasn't ready. So it was good for me to kind of get roughed up and see some more ways of doing it because it helped prepare me for that day. And I knew when I left the interview that President Amy and Dr. Compost and I had made a connection. And I really felt like she was going to hire me and he was going to hire me. And I remember driving back to Fayetteville that day in my truck, listening to Lauren Daigle. And I'll never forget when she called me and told me it was mine. And I'm grateful for that. And I hope this shows how appreciative I was and my staff was, because I will always be grateful for that opportunity they gave me.
And it may be obvious now, but there could be a lot of coaching changes in the state of Texas. A lot of people will probably throw your name around. Is it safe to say that's, all done now?
You never can stop people from talking, right? And because of my Texas connections and my staff's Texas connections, we got 7 Texas high school football coaches on our staff. I was a Texas high school football coach, so that's going to always happen. I've tried to treat people really good for 32 years. I've done my very best. So my name is probably going to always come up, but I just believe a 10-year contract with such a large buyout will help simmer down some of that talk so my players cannot have to answer those questions.
Okay, Greg.
Jeff, no hard feelings. I don't want you to still be mad.
Debbie Downer. Debbie Downer.
Saved it to the end. I thought that was nice. Anyway, why for you was being here for the long term more important than potentially making more money at another program? Why was that something you valued more highly than other opportunities that might be out there?
Well, y'all are starting to know me pretty well. I wear the same pair of ostrich boots that I wore 11 years ago. I just go get them resold, right? I've got my same costume I wear. I got about 6 jackets, a few shirts I twist up in there. I have my cap on at all times. I'm a very simple creature. And I just, how much is too much? And I just don't need that kind of stuff. I'm very grateful for the bosses that I work for. I know how much they believe in me. And there's a tremendous sense of loyalty that I feel towards them for giving me my chance. Most people would not have done that. Many people had their chances, and they did not. But President Amy, Dr. Compost, they did bet on me. So I thought this was a great, a show, an example of me betting back on them. Both sides extremely committed to the future that Dr. Compost and President Amy have for this place. And we know we're not there. I hope no one thinks we're being arrogant. We're not. We have a long ways to go, but we're heading in the right direction for sure, Greg.
What were the biggest things that you needed to see in a new contract to make sure that this was a place you could succeed and a place you needed to be?
My players first. I wanted to make sure they got what they needed. We needed more staff. We needed some more people in the weight room. We needed to up our budget for how much we feed our kids and the nutrition they get. They're eating properly. Nutritionists. There's so many things going on behind the scenes that aren't even, in the contract written, because I trust Dr. Compost and I trust President Amy so much. There are many things going on right now currently that people don't even know about. We're trying to help our kids. So it was my kids first, my staff second, and then Care Bear third. I had to get Care Bear taken care of, and she does not want to leave San Antonio. So they made it where we could stay here. And I've still got 3 children, right? And for some reason, they still like Dad to help them for some reason. But they're doing better. They're doing better.
Like you mentioned, there is a pretty good chunk in there for support staff. Where specifically is that going to go, or how is that going to impact the program?
They gave me liberty to do with that how I wanted to. And we've got that all worked out. And it's just, I don't want to spend a ton of time on that right now. But I also know from being in the University of Texas system for a long time, the bureaucracy moves. So I got to get going on some of these job deals right now because the wheels turn slow. And I've been a member of this now, being a Texas high school teacher, right, at the University of Texas and UTSA. They've got this system down to a science. It moves slowly. So we got to get moving because January 1, 2022 will be here quickly, but I got to beat UTEP as well. And if we don't do that, y'all probably won't be as nice to me. I say nice. You're already talking about firing me on day 1. I still can't get over that, Dr. Compost.
All right, Nick.
That's why I didn't know if that's what he was asking.
Come on, Greg.
All right, Nick, we'll go to you.
Hey, good morning, Coach Jeff Traylor, and congratulations on the new contract. My question for you is in regard to, you're always recruiting. I know this past Friday you went to the Steel and Judson games. I just want to get your thoughts on what you saw out there and any potentials that you saw.
There's so many things that people don't really understand about recruiting. We can only go to a school one time in a semester, right? So we had already burned most of the schools in the city. We intentionally picked Converse, Judson, and Cibolo. We can't predict the future. We don't know which game's the best game. So we got people mad, in the city that I wasn't at their game. Well, we can't. We can only go to one. We can only go to their school one time in a semester. So I hope people understand that. It's not that I'm playing favorites to Cibolo or Converse Judson. It's just that's the way the schedule all worked out for me to get out there. But it's awesome being in the city. Everybody that I ran into was, Coach, please don't go, please don't go. And I knew that we were going to announce this Sunday. We were just trying to keep this thing as quiet as we possibly could. That shows you how much our Board of Regents, Dr. Compost and President Amy are people of character, and my agents as well. Most of the time, people leak this stuff. and it didn't get leaked. I really wanted that to be a special moment for my players. Now, I did tell Dr. Compost I hope they didn't boo me when she made the announcement, and thank goodness they didn't boo me.
Okay, JJ.
Jeff, what did it mean to you to be able to tell the players and get that reaction from them yesterday?
You know, I've had a lot of special moments in my career. And I know I hate using the word but I mean, I almost sound narcissistic. But in that moment, it was one of those moments I'll always remember. One, because I shared it with Dr. Compost, because she truly did see something in me that's different. And she believes in the same thing that I believe in about the student athlete. She's never spoken to me about winning, and I don't talk to my players about winning. We just believe in doing things right. And if you do things right, you're going to win your fair share. Second, my players, just how they responded to me, it'll always mean the world to me. I'm so grateful to you, JJ, for getting that. I thought you did that very professionally. I mean, you didn't put out there all the words I said. You just shared the moment with people, right? And I'm very grateful for you for doing that, JJ. You were straight class in that situation.
Greg?
Jeff, how did the situation with Texas Tech last week sort of change the way these negotiations unfolded in the last week? Did you have a communication with them or even a formal offer from them?
This is totally about our players. I mean, we were tired of the distractions. So Dr. Compost and I really wanted to get in front of this, and President Amy. So this was nothing but about our players. We were tired of that, and that's why we made this move.
Is there anything else for Coach Traylor? Chris?
Yeah, kind of a big game this week with UTEP. What do you see out of the Miners?
Great question, which is, again, why we did this. We really hoped our kids are prepared. They know y'all going to ask them about it, right? But we're hoping, by Wednesday, this thing will be all over. And that's all our kids will be talking about. They're prepared for y'all's questions. We know they're coming. But like you're saying, we had to be focused on UTEP. And I'm just going to tell y'all this to ease everybody's minds. We had the best practice we ever had last night. There was more juice flying around that place. Full padded workout. Pads were popping. Kids were going crazy. They're a really good football team. Coach Dimble's done a fantastic job. They're very much like K-State. If you go back and study Bill Snyder's teams, Coach Dimble worked for him. They're very methodical on offense. They execute. They move the chains on third down. They run the football. They're really good on defense. They fly around to the football. And they're just kind of an old-fashioned football team. It's very K-State-like, and we have a lot of respect for them. We also know how hard it is to play in the Sun Bowl, especially a 9:15 kick. It's going to be a hornet's nest out there. But I know this. Our kids believe in us too, and we've got a good team as well. And the triangle will travel, and we'll show up just like they will. It'll be a heck of a ball game.
I'm curious, what was the reaction you got from coaches with the news yesterday, whether at the high school or the college level?
I had 769 texts last night, and I got all those done, and I woke up to about 185 more, and I would say 2/3 of them were Texas high school buddies, mainly saying I'm buying the sweet tea and the queso the next time they're at the Riverwalk. So, those guys have been my guys for a long time, and I'm so grateful that they're happy because I feel a tremendous burden to the Texas High School Coaches Association that our product we put on the field should be a reflection for those guys, and I never want to let those guys down.
Okay, Greg?
Jeff, it seems like you guys, just based on our media schedule, are going back to a little bit more of a more normal practice routine compared to when we talked about it last week and thought it might be a little bit different. What are kind of the logistics of coming through the end of last week and going through this week?
Yeah, well, we got a waiver just because we had a class schedule situation, light situation. So there's no way we could have practiced today. We tried. We wanted to, but we just couldn't do it. So we were granted a waiver. So it'll be a normal schedule for the rest of the week.
Is that an advantage, or was there something potentially positive about working late? How do you guys kind of adjust to a 9:15 kickoff this weekend? It's so different.
We've worked hard on that schedule. We really have. We've changed some things up. We just don't want them laying around in their room that long. That's just a long time. I'm not so worried about my little skill kids, but all my 300-pound bears I've got, I don't want them turning that air conditioning on 55 and in that bed the entire day. So we're going to try to get them up and move them around a little bit so we don't look too sluggish. You know, I am getting a little older, though, Greg. Y'all might have to wake me up at halftime. That'll be a little late for me.
JJ?
Jeff, for lack of better term, a lot of the fan base was pretty anxious last week about all the happenings going on. What would be your message to the fans that were just so excited yesterday when this announcement came?
You know, it means the world to me. I'm a human, and I don't care what anybody says. We all want to be loved. We all want to be liked. You can't make your decisions in life based on that, but we all want to be appreciated. And so many texts from so many of our boosters and so many messages. It's just, I'm extremely grateful and humble. I understand when a contract is that long and that large, there's going to be, you know, maybe a little negative out there. But for the 99% of everything I've gotten has been nothing but positive and excitement for the city. I went to go get my passport Friday. And I mean, just walking in the building, there were so many fans. They're just birds up. We're getting tickets. Coach, can we get a picture? You can just tell the city's buzzing and hopping. And it's why the game of football is so special. And our basketball coaches, our soccer coach, our golf, tennis, volleyball, all of them are so excited for us because they understand that if our football team does well, it's going to generate so much more money for our department. So all of them benefit. Uniforms are better. Recruiting's better. Facilities are better. It's just, I'm just so excited that God has used me just to be maybe the straw that stirs the sweet tea when I mix my sweet and low in it with my lemon, JJ.
Anything else for Coach Traylor? All right. Thanks, everyone.
God bless. Birds up.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you all.